What if the man you thought had left his past behind was actually carrying it like a loaded gun into a brand new battlefield? That's exactly the question Marshals asks, and the official teaser makes it impossible to look away. Casey Dutton isn't just stepping into a new role, he's stepping into a war where the rules are nothing like the Yellowstone Ranch. This isn't a simple spin-off, it's a story about choices, consequences, and the invisible weight of survival. Every glance, every line, every action in the teaser screams that Casey's world is about to explode, and we're all witnesses to what comes next. So what exactly is waiting for him in Montana, and why does it feel like the stakes are higher than ever? When the first official teaser hit, fans of Yellowstone were shocked to see Casey Dutton not on the ranch, but fully suited up as a U.S. Marshal, moving through Montana like a man whose past refuses to let him breathe. On paper, it's a clean break, Casey leaving the Dutton family behind, stepping into a uniform, following the law. But the teaser tells a different story entirely. From the very first frame, it's clear that this isn't a hero looking for glory. It's a man trying to survive the consequences of his own choices, and that alone sets Marshals apart from the family drama that defined Yellowstone. He isn't running from anything. He's carrying the ghosts of his past with him. Every line in the teaser, especially when Casey murmurs about finding a new beginning, carries double meaning. He's convincing himself just as much as the audience, and that tension is already electric. Luke Grimes returning as Casey feels different this time. Older, more weathered, and yet still conflicted, Grimes brings a depth to the character that makes the teaser almost unbearable to watch without asking, what will break him first, his past or the law? The teaser doesn't just hint at new threats, it makes the psychological stakes just as high as the physical ones. The U.S. Marshals world is unforgiving. Cartels, gangs, racists, and lawless forces operate under no rules but their own, and Casey is in the middle of it all. But he isn't alone. The teaser briefly introduces the team, each member a puzzle piece in a larger story about survival, loyalty, and moral compromise. From the calculated intensity of Pete Calvin to the sharp intelligence of Belle Skinner, the dynamic is already loaded with tension, leaving one question hanging. Can Casey trust anyone when every case he faces could be his last? One of the most striking aspects of the teaser is how it balances nostalgia with innovation. The Dutton Ranch appears fleetingly, almost like a memory more than a location, hinting at the roots of Casey's struggle, but immediately pulling the viewer into a different landscape. Open roads, high-stakes missions, and morally gray choices that could destroy or define him. This careful framing shows that Marshals is not Yellowstone with a badge. It's a show about consequences. Every chase, every confrontation in the teaser is deliberate. The camera lingers on Casey's hesitation just as much as his action, making the audience wonder, is he ready for the job, or is the job ready for him? And then there's the title itself. Dropping the "why" from "Why Marshals" to simply "Marshals" is a subtle but deliberate move by CBS. The show wants to stand on its own, to make Casey the lead in his own right, without relying on the Yellowstone legacy. Yet the past is never fully gone. It whispers beneath the surface of every scene. Fans can't escape it, and neither can Casey. The teaser teases this tension repeatedly, his connection to Montana, to the people of Broken Rock, to Tate, but also what's missing. Monica's absence looms over the narrative, unspoken but haunting. Did something happen to her? Or is this a story where love is the first casualty of a life in constant danger? Every moment in the teaser seems to ask the same question. Can Casey survive what's coming, or will his past finally catch up in a way even he can't fight? The teaser also cleverly sets the tone for what makes Marshals different narratively. Unlike Yellowstone, where the story revolved around one family and one ranch, Marshals promises episodic tension layered with deep character work. Each case is not just an action set piece, it's a psychological minefield. And Casey is the perfect conduit for this world. His skills, his instinct, and his burden of choice are showcased in rapid-fire sequences that leave no room for rest. Watching him maneuver through this new Montana is like watching a chess master in a war zone. Every move calculated, yet every second alive with risk. It's that tension that leaves the audience asking, in a world where violence has no boundaries, how long can Casey truly remain human? The teaser makes it abundantly clear that Marshals is about far more than action. It's about morality, survival, and the choices that define a man when every day could be his last. The psychological weight of being a marshal in this part of Montana is palpable, and the teaser captures it in moments as small as a glance or a pause. Casey isn't just fighting external threats, he's wrestling with himself, and as the teaser cuts to him chasing an SUV on horseback, it becomes obvious that survival in this world demands everything, and sometimes even everything isn't enough. But here's the kicker. What will happen the first time Casey realizes that no matter how far he runs, the past he's carrying might just be faster?
By the time the teaser hits its midpoint, it's clear that Casey Dutton is no longer the conflicted young man of Yellowstone. He has evolved, or at least he appears to have. But evolution in Marshals isn't about leaving the past behind, it's about learning to carry it into situations that will test him in ways Yellowstone never did. Every decision he makes now carries consequences, not only for himself, but for the people around him, the communities he protects, and the fragile moral code he's built for survival. In Yellowstone, his conflicts were mostly personal: family loyalty, love, and revenge. In Marshals, those stakes are externalized, amplified by the responsibilities of his badge. One wrong move can cost lives, and that pressure is ever present in the teaser, even when the action isn't on screen. Luke Grimes's performance makes this weight tangible. In a split second, the teaser can move from a chase to a quiet moment where Casey surveys a scene and the camera lingers on his face. That moment is everything. He isn't thinking about heroics, he's calculating, weighing risk, and bracing for the inevitable. It's a subtle but crucial shift in tone. Marshals isn't just telling a story about law enforcement, it's telling a story about survival in a morally gray world where right and wrong are constantly blurred. Every case the teaser hints at seems to carry a psychological burden, suggesting that the show will explore not only what Casey does, but how it changes him. The line between justice and vengeance is thin, and the teaser teases how often Casey will be forced to step over it. One of the most compelling aspects revealed in the teaser is the interplay between Casey and his fellow marshals. The team isn't just support, they're mirrors, challengers, and sometimes moral compasses. Pete Calivan's intensity contrasts sharply with Casey's quiet deliberation, while Belle Skinner brings a sharp edge of intelligence that keeps the entire team on its toes. Andrea Cruz and Miles K.D. introduce additional layers of complexity, representing both cultural knowledge and practical experience that Casey must navigate. The teaser never outright shows conflict among them, but the tension is unmistakable. You can feel that every partnership is tested not by protocol, but by instinct, ego, and past trauma. And it leaves the question, can Casey trust this team when trust could mean life or death? Marshals also promises to expand on Casey's connection to the land and to people outside the Dutton family. Characters like Thomas Rainwater and Mo bring a sense of continuity, grounding Casey in Montana's history, while also highlighting the stark differences between his past and present roles. The teaser subtly reminds viewers that Montana is more than a backdrop. It's a living, breathing environment that shapes choices and consequences. Every shot, from open plains to quiet towns, signals that Casey's morality is constantly influenced by the terrain, the communities, and the unseen threats that lurk behind every corner. But it's not just geography that challenges him, it's memory, loyalty, and the lingering guilt from Yellowstone. The teaser asks, what happens when a man tries to enforce justice in a land that has already taken everything from him? Then there's the shadow of Monica, whose absence looms over the entire teaser.
While Casey is surrounded by new allies and threats, the lack of her presence introduces an emotional void that is both deliberate and haunting. The teaser never addresses her fate directly, leaving viewers to speculate: did she die? Did she walk away? Or is she a ticking bomb in Casey's mind, a motivation, a reminder, a trap? Her absence is perhaps the most powerful storytelling choice in the teaser because it reminds us that the consequences of Yellowstone's world don't vanish. They follow Casey into every case, every chase, and every moral dilemma. This absence isn't just personal, it's thematic. It's a question of whether someone can truly start anew when the past refuses to die. The teaser also hints at the scale of violence Casey will face. Unlike Yellowstone, where much of the danger was tied to personal vendettas and the Dutton family feud, Marshals expands that danger to a broader, almost lawless world. Gangs, cartels, and racially motivated extremists populate Montana's outskirts, and Casey's position as a marshal makes him the last line of defense. The teaser drops just enough detail to suggest these conflicts won't be isolated. They're part of a systemic, almost relentless chaos. Watching Casey navigate this world, balancing his tactical skills with moral choices, immediately raises the stakes. The teaser asks, how far will a man go to protect what's right when the system itself seems rigged against justice? Finally, the teaser teases the psychological toll that this life will take. Casey is no longer just a cowboy with a badge. He's a man forced to make impossible decisions, often without guidance or certainty. Every chase, every confrontation, every silent stare in the teaser hints at the cumulative weight he carries. And it begs the question, can someone who has already been tested by family, love, and loss truly endure the relentless demands of law, justice, and survival without losing himself entirely? The teaser leaves us on the edge of that question, dangling a suspense that promises the show will explore not only action, but the haunting price of every choice. So as the teaser ends, we're left with one clear, chilling question. In a world where the law is a weapon and survival a gamble, how long before Casey realizes that some ghosts aren't meant to be outrun?
The teaser doesn't just drop Casey into a uniform and call it a day. It immediately confronts him with the moral weight of his past. Every step he takes as a marshal is haunted by Yellowstone, by the choices he made, and by the people he left behind. It's subtle, but it's unmistakable. Even as he rides into a new world of law enforcement, Montana refuses to let him forget who he is. The teaser emphasizes this tension through fleeting visual cues and lines of dialogue that are almost whispered, almost self-directed, but never fully explained. Casey's burden isn't just procedural, it's existential. He's grappling with questions no badge can solve. Can a man who survived the Dutton family's legacy truly enforce justice? Or is he just moving from one battlefield to another, carrying the same pain in a different uniform? The teaser also makes it clear that Marshals will explore the psychological toll of being on the front line of a lawless frontier. This isn't your typical procedural where cases wrap neatly by the end of the hour. Every mission Casey undertakes in the teaser hints at layered consequences, lives hanging in the balance, ethical lines blurred, and the constant gnawing doubt about whether justice can ever truly be served. In Yellowstone, danger was personal. In Marshals, it's systemic. Cartels,